In 4.8a, we are going to talk about our slope formula. So the first important part to remember is our definition of slope. And our slope is called the steepness of a line. So that definition is of slope. And our variable for slope that we always use is going to be m. So if you see m, we know m is always referring to our slope. And then the second definition is that slope refers to the vertical change vertical, which is up and down, over the horizontal change. Which is left and right. Another way that we refer to that is called rise over run. So our slope is called rise over run. Rise is up and down. And run is to the right. Okay, that is an easy way to find your slope. On a graph, you can just count your rise over your run. And we'll do some examples like that. But first, let's review the 4 different types of slope. So we have a positive slope. That means our line, you can see it is going up from left to right. Starting from the left, we go up with our line. Positive slope moves up from left to right. A negative slope moves down from left to right. A slope with 0 moves horizontal. Right here, horizontal. And then an undefined slope moves vertical. It is up and down. So those are our 4 different types of slope you're going to have with our graphs. So now if we look at some examples, it says find the slope of a given line. And it gives us a hint. Count the rise and then count the run. And write our slope as a fraction in simplest form. So the first thing we want to do is find 2 points on our line. So if I look here, I've got point here, crosses at a nice even point where I can tell what the points are. So here, if I start from left to right, this point, my blue point here, is the farthest to the left. First thing I need to do is count the rise. So to get to this red point, I go up 1, 2. So that means my rise is 2. And then my run, how many points do I need to count right? 1, 2, 3. That makes my slope 2/3. And I can also write that as m equals 2/3. That's my variable for slope. Okay, number 2. Got my point here and here. I want to start with my rise. If I start up here, I need to count down 1, 2. If I'm going down, that means it's a negative. Then I'm counting my run, 1, 2, 3. I get a slope of negative 2/3. Okay, my last one. I have a straight line right here. So that means I have if I use these 2 points right here, I have a rise of 1 and a run of 0. If I have a 0 on the bottom of a fraction, that can't happen. So that makes this undefined. Now you can either do it like I just did, using rise over run still, or you can refer back to the top. If you see a vertical up and down line, you know right away that that slope is undefined, right here. In this next case, when we're trying to find the slope of a line and we are given 2 points, so we're not given a graph this time, we're just given 2 points of a line, we are going to use the slope formula. And that formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so let's look at some examples using that formula. This first one says use the slope formula to find the slope of each set of ordered pairs. The first thing I'm going to do when I have my 2 ordered pairs is to label my x1, y1. So my first point is going to be my x1, y1. My second point will be my x2, y2. So that way when I'm using my slope formula, I can see which numbers are which. So now I can plug in, I have m equals y2, which is -1, minus y1, which is 3, over x2. My x2 here is 2, minus my x1, which is 5. Then all I need to do is plug that in my calculator, or I can do it in my head. -1 minus 3 gives me -4. And 2 minus 5 gives me -3. When I reduce that, a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive, so my slope is 4/3. Okay, let's do number 5. First thing I'm doing is labeling my points, x1, y1, x2, y2. Makes it easy so I don't get confused. So now I have m equals y2, which is 5, minus y1, which is 3, over x2, I have a -2, minus x1, which is 4. Plug that in, 5 minus 3 is 2, 2 minus -4 is -6. I can simplify that, 2 over -6 equals 1 over -3. That is my final answer. Okay, 2 more here. x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 is 2 minus y1 is 2. And then I have my x2 minus my x1, which is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. 4 minus 3 is -7. When I have 0 on the top of a fraction, that just equals 0. So my slope here is 0. Okay, my last question, number 7. My first point is x1, y1, x2, y2. My slope is y2, which is -4, minus y1, which is 3, over x2, which is -5, minus x1, which is also negative 5. Okay, so if I have negative 4 minus 3, that gives me negative 7 over negative 5 minus negative 5 is 0. Now I have the 0 on the bottom of my fraction, and we know that can never happen. That's impossible. So that means this one is undefined.